hello, this is Irene with SaugaTalks today. Hello, everyone, wherever you are, if it's a day, evening, or night. I am here today, joined by Pascal Bornet. Hello, Pascal. How are you doing?
Hello, very good, thank you.
Pascal, thank you. Thank you for being here because Pascal is an AI and automation expert and global influencer. If you're not following him on LinkedIn and Twitter, you should because he's a wealth of information. Guest of the hour with us today is Tom Allen. Tom, you are running an AI journal. And
Yeah,
in my mind, this is absolutely critical function today. We're going to talk about AI for all. The theme for this talk is actually how AI is enhancing business ecosystem, but
yeah,
most importantly, how people and society should adapt.
yeah,
What are we doing here collectively, okay, to bring technology in general, intelligent automation, all the fantastic capabilities, but making it useful for broader people.
yeah,
Tom, please, the stage is yours. What do you think? How AI is enhancing business systems today?
yeah. Big question and something we're very big on at the AI Journal. And, it's a real changing point. I mean, going back to why I started it, it was something that I couldn't find too much information about. And, the rate it's growing at and how it's going into all sorts of businesses, different applications. I mean, Pascal talks about it in his book, and you talk about it on lots of different episodes through SaugaTalks. It's a really interesting way to see what AI was worth in 2016. I think McKinsey valued it at somewhere around 26 to 39 billion. And now today it's for 2023, they said, IDC said it's going to be worth nearly 100 billion. So just looking at the kind of rapid compound rate of this technology and the technologies that fall under it, I think it's absolutely crucial for businesses and not just the technology team, for everyone from PR, marketing, sales, the HR departments, that are all supporting functions to businesses that might be, they might sell an AI program at its center, but how do people understand it and not be scared of it? Because I'm definitely not scared of it, and I hope both of you aren't, but I can see why people might be. And, really, AI Journal, what we want to do is support the message that it's here to enhance your business. It's here to enhance what you do, the way you do it, your communications, your relationships, your business. And I think it's really important not just to have, this really cool technology that, RPA, you can pretty much do it for free now, but how do you get the teams in, and how do you support them? How do you train them? How do you make sure you've got these areas in? And, if 12, 13, 14-year-olds are coming through, how to make them feel comfortable going into it. So it's a very big area, and it's something that I've got a very big passion for. And it's a real area we need to make people aware of.
Fantastic, Tom. So, you talking a lot about business functions. We know across the enterprise, marketing, sales, HR, product creation, right? Every area of the business affected by all these new capabilities. All right.
Yeah,
You touched a little bit about how people in different roles feel maybe insecure sometimes. We
yeah.
hear robots are coming. We hear they're taking our jobs. So where you are, how do you think, right, people and society will be adapting?
Yeah, I can't see the future, but I think it will be a big area. I mean, what it's happening with certain industries. Pascal, you touched on, AI and IA has the power to save 10 million lives. When you look at that and you may look at finance, so, with finance security, imagine using that as a marketing tool, saying we can save 10 million lives or whatever the lives are, or saying we can stop fraud happening at this level. That's huge for a PR and marketing team to have as a message and to send to the world and to send to their community and to their audience. What I would say is, with the technology, don't get caught up in thinking you can have some fancy tool and void away from talking to your customers, because it can enhance your customer experience. It can enhance what you do and how you do it. But do not take the message that you can go spend whatever the amount is, whether it's in the millions, and I really hope it's not, if this is how you think of technology, that it's going to save your business, because, it goes back to training and making sure people within the marketing, PR, sales functions know what they're talking about, know what they're doing, know that they're not going into just the big companies, but the smaller companies as the, market adapts to it and brings more on. You know, that's really important for a salesperson, a marketing person, to be able to talk about it in a way that won't frighten them, because people are, for some strange reason. But I mean, it's something that's going to enhance people. And I think when PR teams and marketing teams can relay that message, you know, you're going to see some really, really profitable brands and some really engaging brands that are going to actually deliver a much better business model, rather than, you know, not touching on it and hiding away and using it as a buzzword, rather than just actually educating people on it.
So it's really about moving from the hype to the reality, right? And talking about reality and the benefits of such transformations, what do you think are the critical success factors for companies and for people to get it right?
Well, I would look at, if I was doing it, I'd be thinking, making sure we're all on the same mission, all on the same journey. It's very easy to get caught up in, you know, these technologies, intelligent automation, RPA, you know, which we're doing a report on at the AI Journal, which will be really interesting. And, you know, looking at how these technologies can enhance your business, but not just thinking it's nothing more than just a technology. So I'll always go back to, you know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with these technologies. I've seen people say, you know, Naval, he said in general, AGI won't be around in our lifetime. I think, how do you know that? Like, it's, you know, it's compounding at such a rate. These technologies are going up and up and up. You know, I would really tell business leaders, don't just look at the technology and think we're prepared for this, we're ready for this, we can do this. You know, I think Tech Data came out and said they're going to spend £750 million or dollars on digital transformation projects. But when you looked at it, there wasn't much around the kind of training on it or the scaling of it to have, you know, center of excellences, or whether to do it, or how to get people in from all tiers of the levels from starter through to finish. So if I was giving advice, and I'm not saying I'm the best suited person to ask, but I would be thinking, you know, it's making sure, like any business, you know, if you're not starting it for the right reasons, if you don't have the right passion, the right mission, the right goal, you know, I think you're pretty much doomed to fail unless you get a hint of luck and someone pushes you on the right way. And that's why you can obviously hire consultancies that will teach you, you know, where to go and how to get it right and what to do right.
Yeah, in these very practical terms we're in. So, Tom, you know that big companies, right, undertaking huge digital transformation projects right now, initiatives. So this is not new. It was only accelerated by COVID in 2020. So what we're seeing looks like adoption rate should grow, acceleration of any kind of technology is growing, but at the same time, we see big lag. We see huge talent gap. We see companies who are not big tech, okay, the rest of them, the rest of the economy, struggling to get right talent on board. Where do you think the biggest issue is?
I'd say at the moment, it's within people that are going through universities and colleges. I mean, that's where I would look at it. And some people might say, well, it's not the big problem, but I think those are the people that are going to be the future leaders tomorrow. And I think if you don't start having these courses and these applications, or the training, or the physical environments, or the case studies that, you know, you can go into a business and see how these technologies actually work. You know, you can learn so much from watching the videos and doing the writing and, you know, writing a thesis. But if you don't actually go and get your hands on, involved with it, you're not going to know about it. So I really would say it starts with the schools and colleges trying to get more on board with this, because before you know it, how quickly we're moving. It was a year ago, COVID and coronavirus was kicking off. How quickly does that feel? Like, it goes so quickly. Before we know it, we'll be at 2025, and those people will have come through. They'll be the junior account execs, or they'll be the junior data scientists, or they'll be the junior software infrastructures, you know, whatever the role is. And if they're not, you know, being educated throughout it, and they're doing, you know, things that aren't necessarily helping, I think it can be a big disadvantage. I mean, that's going back to why I started the AI Journal, to have something that's open source, helping people, can show the message, show what they need to do, you know, and hear it from a non-biased view, you know, and show what is available, what's not available, what's an opinion, what's right, what's wrong, because a lot of it in this new technology ages, there's no right or wrong. It's a pretty cool idea, see if it works. So
Exactly. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So we do want to put exceptional leaders on stage here at SaugaTalks in a way that, yes, we can find a solution when we work together wherever we are. So Tom, you're in London, I'm in Connecticut, and Pascal, West Coast Pascal, right? You're in the United States, also different side of the continent. So yeah, and we're joining forces with people across the globe now, because many trying to find the good answer. What do you think, Tom, will make a difference in very practical terms? Because we have to start with small steps, don't you think?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know what the one key thing is, but I think it's like anything. You need to get educated about what you want to do. You don't just hear the word and you don't hear intelligent automation or RPA. And I'm sure both of you will be able to touch on it more than me. And I'd love to know what the kind of things you've both seen when you go to a company or when you go to a client and they hear this buzzword and they just think, you know, we want to implement it. It always will, for me, go back to what do you want to start with? Where do you want to get to? And what's your roadmap to get in there? You know, what's the starting point? How much do you know about this? How much do you need to do this? So, you know, I haven't been involved on the business side, and I don't know what the kind of roadblocks are that companies come up across. But I do know I don't do anything unless I've learned how to do it. And I mean, you know, if you go surfing or you go skiing, you're going to be rubbish when you first start. You might have an upper hand because you've kind of got a feel for it, or, you know, you've seen people doing it, but, you know, you're going to fall and you're going to struggle. And I think there's a lot of companies out there seeing AI and automation, intelligent automation, RPA, whatever it is, cloud, and thinking, oh yeah, cool, jump on the bandwagon. I don't think it's that easy. I could be wrong, but I think it's really, you know, getting clear on what you want to do, how you want to do it. And I mean, there's some great, you know, there's lots of new things popping up. There's great ways. This podcast is one of them. Pascal's book's another one. You know, I didn't know much about this kind of area up until about 2 years ago. And there's other things like the Third Thursday, which one of my mentors runs, Kieran and Emma. You know, those kind of ways to show what the culture is and how it runs. It's really important. And I think, you know, if you're going to be quite naive and arrogant to go into it and just think, you know, this is going to work for us, good luck. You know, I might not, but yeah, that would be my kind of message. Start with, where do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to do? Is this technology, do you need it just yet? I don't know. Maybe both of you can touch on, is that along the right lines? Have you seen some bad examples?
Yes. Completely makes sense. And so we understand your passion. I mean, which is the same passion that we have for those technologies and their potential to change companies, society, and people. So you created the AI journal to share this message, okay, as a media to share this message. What will be the next step for you? I understand that's the first step. What do you have in mind, if you can share with us?
Yeah, so I mean, when I first started AI Journal, Pascal and Irene, it was nothing more than a blog, like we touched on. I couldn't find the information myself, so I thought I'll go write about it myself. I'm not an expert, but see what happens. And we turned it into an open source hub. And, you know, it's attracted all sorts of people to write for us and bring all sorts of new ideas. So where I'm going with this is, I only thought of it as just a platform, share a few ideas. And now we have some really, you know, globally recognized heads of departments of globally recognized brands sharing their opinion. And going forward, I can clearly see that there's a bit of a need for it, a bit of a build for it. And that's why we're going to be rolling out lots of different programs, from the reports that we're doing. The next one's on RPA, intelligent automation, data analytics. And the ones after that, we're going to be looking at VR, AR. The one after that, we're going to be looking at fintech and insurtech, and building an ecosystem around it that includes people. I mean, all our content is free to download. It's free to watch. It's free to come to the events, and really support people that, you know, like we've discussed, a bit scared by it. And it's to say, you know, it's okay if you don't know these things. That's why we're here to teach you. We're not here to, you know, raise our eyebrow at you. We're here to promote it and share what you can learn and what you can do. And there'll be plenty of other initiatives like the awards that we're running out, which will be great. The reports, the more events that we'll be doing, the training that we're going to be rolling out. So there's lots of ways we're going to be doing it, and you know, making sure it's accessible to people. I don't want this to be a brand where we close off knowledge to people. You know, that's my core mission with this, my core goal, an open source, free to consume information that can add more value to businesses and to the general public. That's what we're trying to create. And I don't think, it should be shut off. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of, I've got a bit of a problem, Pascal and Irene, because I can come up with 100 ideas and, I'll be thinking, I want to chase that, I want to chase this. But my background isn't necessarily, high tech or technology, but I did know, I want to, connect the people to the right people, and, AI Journal for that safety place to go to find out about things you might not know, or battle ideas, create discussion, disagree with people, agree with people, get new ideas, and create new businesses maybe. So.
This is fantastic. Your story resonates so well with me, Tom, because frankly, you are a picture perfect situation where people say, you know what, I don't have technical background. I'm not a programmer. I have not been studying computer science in college, or I didn't go to college, and yet, I know, and I'm sure Pascal knows that this huge technology revolution we're part of, it has place for people who can write, who can do videos, who can tell stories. You don't need to program necessarily to take part and be enthusiast and to make a contribution and actually find your place in this economy, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I always look at places like ethics. I mean, you don't necessarily need to be, a whiz kid at coding a piece of data or an algorithm or whatever it is to know what's right and wrong. And I honestly think, the businesses that are popping up at the moment that are just going to be supporting, I could easily see a whole business being built around training, marketing and PR teams for the AI revolution, as we call it, or, how to, HR is such a big function. If you're a big multi-billion-pound company and you're embarking on these kind of company-wide transformations, HR is going to be one of the key things, I would say. Who are the right people to bring in, who knows their stuff, who are we going to take a chance on, who might not know actually anything but has the passion for this company. And I think, though that's why I come back to the supporting functions. I really want to help them realize, there's this fancy tech. You can do this. You can do these amazing things. Like, and Pascal's book's great for that, showing all these different things that can happen from IA, RPA, and all these, great technologies. And without repeating myself, it's not going to happen without knowing, what you actually need to achieve, what you need to accomplish. So having that kind of community for people to share and to build and to come up with ideas, maybe we'll have something that's similar to, the open source platforms where you can go and build your own processes or something, but you can do it for content. I don't know. But I reckon there'll be some new businesses that are providing tons of value to these big companies like Salesforce and all the big ones that need, and they'll probably get acquired by them as well, because you see Google and everyone just step in and buy them as soon as they see something of interest. But it's a really fascinating area, and my core message is, don't be scared by it. It's here to enhance your life. It's here to enhance your business, and it's here to enhance your customer story and customer success and your customer experience. So and another company to look for is a leader with what they're doing with customer experience. It's awesome. Like how you can figure out what you can do, how you can lower your ad spend. You can take that to your board to say, this is what we need to do with our marketing campaign, or this is what we need to do with our PR campaign, or these are the influencers we need to go to get our message to interview and to do video interviews and come on talks like this and podcasts like this, to really show that they're at the forefront of what they're doing. I think, that's a huge play. It's not something to just say, we're going to do technology. That's that.
Makes sense, Tom. I'm really, I could completely align with what you say, and really appreciate your passion as well. How did you get to there? How did you get to the passion you have today? And I think, this question is important for me, because I think it's because of passion that then you're successful, and then you bring something to the world, and you also enjoy yourself in what you're doing.
Yeah.
How did you find this passion? What's your story around it? And maybe how do you see yourself in the future? I don't.
Yeah, great question, Pascal. Great question. It was really out of annoyance that I just couldn't find something that, there are the other publications out there. And to me, I just thought, this is an emerging area. I don't know much about it, but I know it's going to be big. I see the PwC reports, I see the McKinsey reports, I see the Deloitte reports. And I just looked at it and thought, well, I wonder where do I go for this? And I honestly thought the AI journal, I thought the name would be taken. It wasn't. So I was like, excellent. Step one, what can I build this in?
Before that, what's your background? Where are you coming from?
Marketing. So I was in marketing and somehow fell into that through step by step and customer relationship management before that. So a lot to do with scaling website traffic and all that kind of area and writing content. So it was my kind of passion that played off each other, I guess. I love to write content. It's not always content that people agree with, or it's not always to the best caliber. But I'm a big fan of video. I'm a big fan of doing things like this and getting your brands out there, because it's it's the way forward. And I would say my passion almost came out of annoyance to think, why should people be scared of this technology or be scared of what's to come? I honestly think if you're a very lazy person, which this might be quite controversial to say, maybe you should be scared, because it's going to be taking a lot of those mundane jobs. I worked in, a manufacturing company, and we dealt a lot with pick and place robots. So you could see, taking it onto line, working with distribution hubs and Hermes and DPD to see where the packages were going and what it was doing, and the robots pick and place it. It's easy once you see it in person and you're on the shop floor to think this is going to take, this is going to automate a lot. But it's hard not to see everything that was around it. Like you had to have all the people programming it, all the people building it, all the people looking after it, maintaining it, going on site to check it. And my passion, it came from there to think, how can I tell people that this is what's going to change their lives, 5 years from now.
How did you get from marketing to AI?
Good question. I don't know. I really, I can't answer that one properly. It was more of a late night reading and doing it on my weekends, and open to technologies like robotics, not so much AI, but seeing it in action and seeing physical automation lines being produced and actually manufactured. But yeah, kind of, people like both of you, you're the ones that inspire me to think this is interesting. This is what I need to learn about. This is what I want to push and what I want to do. So, it's something that just clicked with me.
What would be your advice to people watching us today, to become like you, meaning passionate about what you do, open to share with the world your message? I mean, to get there, to get to the point where you are today, where you're a happy person. I mean, you don't feel like you're going to work painfully every day. You're passionate. And you found this passion. How did you? I mean, what would be your advice to people watching us? Looking for this.
So I read a lot, so reading kind of helped me understand what the kind of different avenues are, and listening to podcasts, because I know some people don't like to read, and you can listen to the podcasts. And I had a quote, I'm not too sure who it was, from maybe Tony Robbins or someone, that said, you don't actually need to go to university. You can learn a lot from, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you can learn a lot through YouTube and a lot through videos, podcasts, whatever it is. And through that, Pascal and Irene, I just thought, this is what I want to pursue. I knew I wanted to add value to people some way or some shape or form, and help businesses get their message out there and help people share what they want to share and what they're passionate about. If you're passionate about something, you should go chase it, because honestly, it doesn't feel like work to me. It feels more like fun, and it feels, they're obviously, a bit tricky at times, but knowing I'm helping people and adding value to them in some shape or form or another, I think if you do that, and whether, Gary Vee's a great person to look at for that, because he gives a load of different ranges from, reviewing toys through to, reviewing sofas or selling, architecture or paintings. There's so many avenues. If you're passionate about it, and I can't agree with anyone that says there wouldn't be money in it, because there is, or not money, but value, or what you can do to make a living and to, follow your dream and do it in the background. I mean, AI Journal's taken a year to get to where it is at the moment. And, I wouldn't have changed any other way. I was doing it in my evenings, on the weekends, and kind of thinking about it in the day. But, something like that, whatever your background is, whether it's in marketing, PR, sales, or whether it's in technology, or whether it's building, software, or writing code, or something completely different, journaling, or, there's a passion there for it, and you should go chase it. And if you haven't found it yet, don't worry, like there's plenty of time. And that's why, you know, you should always not stay fixed until you found it. But you know, it's there's a lot out there for people, and I think if you like it, you should go chase it.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Okay, I can spend a lot more time on the topic because it looks like we are connecting really well. At the same time, yes, at the end of our talk today, I would like to summarize a couple of points because we did talk about how to find the passion. All right, you don't need to put your artificial barrier in front of yourself because you're not the right background. Nobody's the right background. Nobody. Okay, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you had corporate background, you may stop yourself. Don't. Okay, if you're not technical person but trying to do things in communication marketing and trying stopping yourself, don't. So that's my message. So a couple of closing points, Tom. We talked a lot about important things. Couple of takeaways. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my takeaways would be, you know, if you're scared of this kind of technology, don't be. You know, you can, or if you connect with me on LinkedIn or do whatever, I'll always try and help and connect you with the right people that can help you, you know, and follow what you want to do and do what you want to follow. Like you said, Irene, don't be put off by someone telling you. And Pascal, I'm sure you're the same. If someone tells you not to do something, to me, it's like being a kid. I'm like, well, I might go try do it then. You know, I'm sure that there's plenty of things I remember saying to you, Irene, before this call started, you know, I'm not a tech person and I still kind of freak out a little bit, but I do know that I want to create a community. So my closing point would be, you know, make sure you're not scared of this technology, learn how to understand it and how it's going to enhance your business and enhance your teams and your customer experience. And if slightly off point, but if you want to do something, just go do it and learn on the way.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Tom. We're going to link to AI Journal in this video. Please follow Tom, follow Pascal, follow me. If you have particular questions, we'll find people who can answer them. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.